Well, listen, we're gonna take a whistle stop tour of your life, and in the next sort of 25 minutes or 30 minutes, we're gonna let people know about Cheavon Clarke and let them know about the boxer, but the person as well, which not a lot of people know. So, right, you're born in Jamaica. At what age did you come to the United Kingdom and why?
Uh, I came when I was 11, came on holiday really, and then the question was asked, "Do you like it here?" I was like, "It's all right, yeah, it's cool." Um, Two out of the three people that was asked said yes, and then one said no, and that person got outvoted. And then yeah, that's the story really.
Right, so at what age did you get into boxing and why?
When I'm pretty sure it's 18. 18. Yeah, because I had my first fight when I was almost 19. So yeah, when I was 18, I used to play football really, and when you play football, there's 11 people on a team, right? And some people come and they don't give 100%, and I'm the type of person where I'm like, if you're not coming to give 100%, don't come and play. Like I get mad at people. I'll pull you, right? You know what I mean? So I just went to the gym to try and get fit for the season, really. Then went there, met my coach, amateur coach Jason, and yeah, just it was painful, but his energy kind of matched mine, and we just like bounced off of each other, and yeah, it just went from there.
Superb. Well, before we start to go into your amateur and professional boxing careers, I want to talk about you a little bit. Now, I believe you had a couple of near-death experiences in
Yeah.
your life. Can you please discuss them?
Oh, so the first one I was in Jamaica at the time. I think I always get the age wrong. I asked my mom the other day, and she told me. I think I was either 6 or 8, one out of the two, and yeah, I was playing hide and seek, and was on an unfinished building site. Now it was boarded up and all that, so I shouldn't have really been on there. But I thought if I could go onto the building site, climb up under the ladder, which was a wooden ladder at the time because the steps hadn't been put in, and I moved the ladder, nobody would be able to get up and find me. So kind of, I ran up to the place, ran up to the ladder, but it was a wooden ladder, and where it hadn't been used in a while, it was rotten. I ran. I think I made a couple steps, and then it broke, and then like I just landed impaled on a spike, and it's fair to say they found me. They took me to hospital, and
Oh,
yeah.
let's describe this spike. We're not talking like what, half an inch here. Describe it.
Nah, like it was probably that far out the ground.
About two
Like
feet high.
that's a meter, 1.2 meters, I reckon that is. But like, yeah, about that. Cause I remember being on it trying to come off of it, but I was just like stuck there, bro.
Whereabouts did it go in your body?
Like it went straight through me here.
Straight into your stomach.
No, like if you imagine like you've stepped and landed on it.
Ah, gee, so like from your groin straight up inside.
Yeah,
Ay, ay, ay.
yeah.
Ooh, how long was the recovery on that?
I think about 6 to 8 months. I remember having this colostomy bag for time. I was the colostomy bag kid.
Oh man, I guess whatever injuries, whatever pain physically you've had ever since that day are going to be like minor comparisons, you know. Wow, I mean, it's painful enough for me to watch you in an Arsenal kit for the records. Everyone watching there, and we are going to organise Cheavon a Queens Park Rangers kit when he gets around to thinking. But
I'll check it.
that is incredible, man, unbelievable. That's literally got my hair standing on end listening to that. There was another time as well, though, wasn't there?
Yeah. Again, I think this was when I was just like finishing school. Um. Yeah, it was roughly the same time. It's literally when I just started boxing because I was meant to fight, and then this happened, and I had an operation, so I was out for like another 6 months again. So I was doing some work experience with a friend, a family friend. Um, it was in Reading, so it was like traveling away, working for the week, and then coming back. And then like one of the weeks, I just remember my stomach hurting. I just brushed it off. You know what I mean? Um, Went to work, but the second week of it hurting, came back home. And then it's weird because I said to the friend, I was like, yo, don't go home, because I lived in Kent at the time. He lived in London. So I was like, yo, the traffic's gonna be bad, so just take it easy and then go back later. So he chilled out, had a bit of food. I've had a shower and all that. My stomach's hurting, so I'm like, yo, my stomach. No, yeah. I think I said to him my stomach's hurting. Anyway, it was about 7 o'clock in the evening, and I was walking up the steps, and I kind of just like dropped to the bottom of the steps, and he was like, yo, you all right? I was like, yeah, I'm cool. I tried to go back up the steps again, back down the steps. So he was like, no, there's something wrong with you. So I was like, oh, my stomach's hurting. Let's go and get some Gaviscon. So he drove about trying to find Gaviscon. You won't believe it, bro. There was Gaviscon nowhere. Nowhere. It's mad. There was Gaviscon nowhere. So we came back home, and I went and got some ginger tea, because, you know, in the Caribbean, ginger is the remedy for most things. So going up, I had the ginger tea going up the steps again, got to halfway, and my legs kind of buckled away. Went back down. He goes, nah, there's something wrong with you. I was like, no, I'm all right. It's just my stomach hurting. I go to sleep. So he insisted we go to A&E. So we went to A&E, and there was a mad queue. Mad queue. So when to see the reception, said it's a 5-hour wait. I said, no chance, I'm going home. So I went back home, tried to go up the steps again, back down the steps. So this time he calls the ambulance. Ambulance come outside, lights blocking off the road. Then I just remember them strapping me up, going, it's cold inside the ambulance, you know, bro. It's proper cold. I remember that much. And then we got to the A&E, they took me through the back or whatever. And then the woman that told me 5 hours, I was like, fast tracked. I was fast tracked. Yeah, just honestly, the pain or this. I don't know if you've ever had a burst appendix, yeah. But anyway, so when we got there, I had to have an operation the night. I didn't know about it. I just remember taking loads of painkillers, and yeah, I woke up and there was like family and flowers around me and all that. And apparently my appendix has burst, and when it bursts, it poisons you. Like it had a madness in the theater as well. So yeah, the doctor. I just remember the one thing I remember clear like day is the doctor. He had a folder like this, right? Like that they think, and he had a pen in his hand, and he was standing over me. I'm laying on the bed. He taps it like that. He goes, Mr. Clarke, you're a very lucky man. We had to do everything in our power to save your life. That's the main thing I remember. But yeah, I had like all cuts up here. I was like bedbound for a little while, for a long time. Again, that took about 6 months. So that's why I started boxing so late. Well, later.
Gee, Chev, that's mad. That's before you've even finished your teenage years, you've already had two heavy brushes with death. The fighting gene was certainly there. If it wasn't, it was accelerated by your life experiences. That's for sure. So you do bounce back incredibly, and let's talk about your amateur career now. Let's talk about how quickly you went from being someone out the hospital to getting back into training, and how long was it before you started competing in competitions?
By the end of the year, really, because I had a friend who her dad was like, he was into boxing. I wouldn't say he was like a mad coach or anything, but he's into boxing, and he took me to one club, and I'd recovered by this point, and I was a chef. I was a chef. I'll put it. I describe it as that. And I'll do the boxing part of it, but I wouldn't run and stuff. And like my old man and that and friend, they'd be like, "Yo, you need to run." I was like, "Bro, I don't need to run. Like, I don't need to run. I'm chef. I hit you once. I don't need to run." Anyway, I had my first fight for this club, and I won. I was doing great for the first round and a half, and then it kicked in. It kicked in, and so I just remember spitting my gum shield out at one point. And the third round, I was great for like 30 seconds, and then it was peak after that, and I lost the fight by 1 point, and after that, I swear that I'd never be unfit again. So yeah, I started running, and yeah, been a fit guy
You're
ever
always,
since.
I mean, I remember when I saw you at the Boxing Rights Club in May, you'd fought a couple of days or 2, 3 days before, and I went, you're looking in good shape, and you went, yeah, I just had the fight at the weekend, and I was thinking, yeah, that's particularly why I was mentioning because a lot of fighters, 2, 3 days after, they've chucked on a stone in weight, they've hit the pizzas, they've done whatever they're having their comfort food, but you look like you were probably like 3 pounds off your fighting weight from like 2 days before, so that first lesson in that ring, that first amateur fight, probably taught you a lot psychologically in terms of the fitness needed moving forward. Now, you competed for Jamaica in the Commonwealth Games in 2014, and then you switched to the UK in terms of competing. Tell me that. Tell me the story there.
So how that came about? Basically, when I started with Gravesham Amateur Boxing Club, I'd already had one fight from the club previous. So I needed one more fight, and then I could enter the novices. So then I had a home show, which then gave me the two fights. Then they entered me into the novices. I won the novices. I beat Sam McIntyre, the light heavyweight guy, because I was 81 at the time. I beat him in the final. He was the favorite. Beat all the favorites on the way to it. Then the second year went into the on the 20s. I won that as well. Um, yeah. So then it came to a thing where I think it was coming up to the Olympics. This was like 2011, 2012. And in my head, I was like, yo, it'd be sick if I could get onto Team GB. So, like, funny enough, I got an invite. I think I got an invite to go on trial. So I go on trial now. And there's like 30 of us as the process goes. And it was me, John Yule from Liverpool. He was good. And Jake, wait, I can't remember his name. But it was Jake Ball on as the last three, and then John Yule and Jake Ball got chosen. So I didn't get to go on the GB team at the time. And I was mad. I was mad because I was like, yo, Jake Ball at the time was in my area, and I beat him in the Southern Counties every time. I'm like, how am I beating this guy and you're picking him? It don't make sense. But it was a process. So then I went into on the Open the next year, and I fought Kirk Garvey, I think. No, Sam Pompey in the quarterfinals or whatever. I lost to him, and then I fought Garvey in a wicked competition the year after that. And after that, I was like, you know what, I'm done with boxing, man. Forget this nonsense. So my coach, after that Garvey fight, like 2 weeks later, he called me, goes, you're Jamaican, ain't you? I said, yeah. He goes, I'll call you back. A little while after that, he goes, oh, we're going to Jamaica. You're going to fight in the championships. So he got all the sponsors and that. Went out there, fought in the championships, won it. That entitled me to fight for the Commonwealth Games. So I fought in the Commonwealth Games. I fought a guy from Northern Ireland. I can't remember his name. But anyway, yeah, that didn't go to plan. And I came home and I was like, you know what? This time I'm done with boxing, bro. I just got embarrassed on the biggest stage in boxing. Like one of the biggest stages in the world. Like the Commonwealth Games is a well-watched thing. I was like, so yeah, finished up with that and just went lorry driving, man. And I enjoyed it. It was brilliant. Learned some good life skills on it, driving. And yeah, I was all over the place. I was all over. I was in the big Arctics. I was in the big Arctics. I used to love it, man. I used to love it. Drive it like a go-kart.
You can drive a 40-foot Arctic and you can box. There's something there. We can do something with this. I'm not sure. It's people give the name Juggernaut to Joe Joyce.
You hear them guys when they hit me up, I can back up their loads anytime. Do you know what I mean? As you know what I mean, Winter Cat and any of them. But anyway, yeah, I did that. But throughout that period of time, my friends, they were just on me, on me, on me. Oh, you're a waste of space. You're a waste of talent. You're a waste of this. I was like, yo, listen, you guys have been making money all this time I've been boxing. Just leave me be. I'm enjoying it. I'm making some money. I'm good right now. But they didn't stop. So finally, in 2015, I was like, okay, cool. No, what happened? I think it was December 2015. I actually went back to the gym for like one little session. And then my coach, Jason, he was at the gym, funny enough. And he was like, yo, we're having a show March 4th, 2016, which is the year after. Make sure you're ready. And I was like, oh, damn. He ain't bothered me all this time. Now I gotta do it. So yeah, I did it. March came. I fought a guy called Greg Baguette who was on Team GB at the time. And I beat him. I think I knocked him down or stopped him. I don't want to give you the wrong information, but anyway, I beat him. And after that, my other coach, Len, goes, oh, so, you know that the championships is in 2 weeks. So then, yeah, I went from there. What's funny about, well, it's not funny, but what's mad about that, the twist in it is, at the time, my nana died in Jamaica, right? So between that fight and the championship starting, we had to go to Jamaica. So I weren't training. Like, all I was doing was running out there. I came back. Fortunately, nobody weighed in at my weight in the Southern Counties. I came back. No, they called me. They're like, oh, you're through. So then they paid for me to come back after the funeral, like straight after the funeral, paid for me to come back. And then, yeah, we just went from there, won the championships, the Open for the first time. And then, yeah, straight after, I got invited for trials up at GB, and then yeah, just went from there.
I mean, that's a great story. 2015 should have been the end in your mind in terms of your boxing career, and thank God it wasn't, because I was glued to the TV when you took part in the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, which was actually in 21. Which in years to come, people will wonder if they're quoting that correctly. And you gave an incredible account of yourself. I mean, you lost against the eventual bronze medalist, but talk to me about the experience of fighting at the Olympics, and also, I guess, with the added sort of difference of pandemic restrictions.
So I had never boxed in Olympics before, so I can only speak from that experience. It I can't explain it. It just happened. It was a great experience representing a country, representing my town and obviously my family. But where we were so used to going to these competitions without um, spectators, it made no difference whatsoever. It was just like you just had to be your own cheerleader. Do you get what I mean? So, like, going out there was pretty cool. We got set up there. They looked after us really nicely, man. Tokyo, the cleanest place I've ever been, like, by far. Hospitality was amazing, and what an experience. Honestly, our setup before we went into the village, unreal. But ultimately, it came down to it, and I didn't medal, so we just kept it moving. Came home and just like took a little bit of time out, handled my business, and yeah, just went from there.
So you're now 2-0 as a professional, fighting in the cruiserweight division. You're 30 years old, so you kind of at that lovely sort of strength, as they call it, so full sort of man strength now at the age of 30. And at cruiser, you seem absolutely dynamic. Where would you like to be in 12 months' time?
Oh, that would be telling, but I'd want to be I want to be better off than I am now. That's for sure. So listen, I'm not a big talker. I let people witness for themselves. You know what I mean? I can say all of this and that, but just watch the journey and you'll see.
Talking about big talkers, Eddie Hearn and Jake Paul. There was at one point they were trying to matchmake you with Jake Paul. Eddie Hearn was trying to match you with Jake Paul, certainly, and it never came to fruition. Firstly, why not? And secondly, how would that fight have panned out?
That's exactly what I was just saying. You see, when you talk too much and you can't back it, do you know what I mean? So, as I said, I'm always ready. Was it Mike Tyson said, goes, give me 3 weeks, man. I'll be ready. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was a great bit. That was a cool experience, and it's great to see that Eddie had confidence in me out of all the possible people on his stable. He chose me, so that was pretty cool. But I ain't honestly, Jake Paul's a YouTuber. He's a great sensation. He does what he does. It's great for attention, but it doesn't do nothing for me in boxing.
Love it. Brilliant. Brilliant. You've just spoken for the majority of the boxing world there, I think. Last couple of questions. Joshua v. Usyk, we got the rematch coming up soon. Who have you got, and how's it finish?
I'm patriotic, but Josh is my guy. And I genuinely believe that if we see the Josh that we all know, I think he'll do the job. If we see the Josh we saw last time, we're gonna have the same results. Obviously, Usyk's gonna be working to be even better, but I'll back in Josh 100%.
Beautiful. Final question. You ready? If you could spar 3 rounds with any past boxing legend, who would it be?
Mike Tyson.
And
Mike
why?
Tyson. Just because I don't know. I'd like to see where I'm at and how good he really was. Pete Mike Tyson, or Roy Jones Jr. Them guys. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'll take one more. I'll give you one more. Sugar Ray Robinson. Those three there. That would be amazing. That
Yeah.
would be
Maybe one round each. That'd be pretty cooling. Listen, Cheavon Clarke, thank you so much for coming on to Sloth Box. I hope everyone's enjoyed watching this fantastic interview. One of the nicest guys in boxing. Even though he is an Arsenal supporter, he genuinely is one of the nicest guys. I wish you the very best with your career moving forward. I know you're going to do big things. I know it's going to happen quickly. And hey, maybe we can get you on here in a few months' time when you start racking up those belts,
shout me, man. Just shout me.
Great, so take care, man. Thank you.
Thank you, bro.